So in yesterday's video, I talked about the banjo picks that I use. That's something people ask about all the time. And then somebody asked about some of the other accessories that I use, which is probably a good thing for people to think about. So that got me thinking, what about banjo straps? Well, this is an interesting one because this is my banjo strap and I hate it. This is the worst banjo strap you could ever have. I don't recommend you get one like this. In fact, you can't even buy one of these in stores because this was just made by the previous owner, or one of the previous owners of the banjo that I play a lot of the time, the Gibson TB11. And I guess he liked it, but this is terrible. It cuts off circulation on your shoulders. It doesn't get, there's not much support. It looks like the banjo strap that Earl Scruggs used, so how cool is that? But as far as playing and ergonomics, it's terrible. Why do I use it? I can't explain that. I don't know. I really don't like this banjo strap. But there is one thing that I really do love about it. The banjos are kind of interesting because for some reason, even modern banjos aren't really built with something to attach a strap to, not officially, so we have to make do. Obviously, with something like a guitar, there are places to attach a strap, and it's very convenient. If you look at just about any guitar, you will see that. One on the top, and one on the bottom. Oh, well, that's not supposed to be like that. But if you look at a banjo, you will notice no such place to attach a strap. So we have to do something different. What we end up having to do is attach them here to these hooks, which actually apply pressure to the tension hoop. That's obviously not what they're for. They're not supposed to be places where you put the strap, but they're secure and they're strong, and so that's what we've done for a long, long time. But it's not just that, it's a little more complicated because you have to find a way to attach them to these hooks, and there's a couple ways of doing it, some of which I like, some of which I really don't like. And the version of that I hate the most is the one where there's just a clip that you just hook on there. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of those. It's either metal or plastic, whatever it is. It's super convenient and super easy, and probably my least favorite solution. And it's not the end of the world, it'll hold your banjo up, but the reason I don't like those is because once you attach them, for the most part, if it's metal or plastic, there will be some wear to the finish on your banjo. I'm not even a particularly careful person when it comes to finish. I mean, if you look at any of my banjos, I didn't do all of this. This is an old banjo, but these are not super clean instruments, and that's fine. But if I have a hook or a clamp or whatever it is that's gonna be digging into the finish of the wood in one place, I'm going to wear down a significant amount of the instrument, and I'd prefer not to do that. The other thing is, I'm sure they're rated to hold plenty of weight, and I've never personally seen one of these things fail. I'm just a little bit wary of something like that has a couple places in it where it could be a little weak and it could break, you could drop your banjo. I'm not interested in anything remotely close to possible in terms of that scenario, so I try to avoid that at all costs. I have used those in a pinch before, but I really prefer not to. Now, the other version of the banjo strap that is pretty common, but that I still don't like, actually requires you to take apart your banjo a little bit, which is why I don't like it. It's the ones you've probably seen where it actually hooks around one of these. They're usually leather, and that's fine. That's actually pretty close to what I like. The problem is you have to take off the resonator, which is not too much of a headache, but the real headache is once you get that off, in order to loop that around one of these, you have to unscrew this and take off the hook and then put it on there, put it back, tighten it up again. In theory, that's not the end of the world, except that you really, I don't know why this is the case, and maybe I'm just bad at it, and maybe I just am unable to get things back to the normal tension. I know you can use a drum dial, I know, but I'm really not interested in taking this off and then trying to get the tension back to where it was relative to all of these, because you kind of want these to all have the same tension. So I'd prefer not to have to mess with that if I can. And for plenty of people, that's not that much of a headache, that's fine. And if you're gonna keep one strap on the same banjo and it's always gonna be at the same length and all of that, then it's probably not that big a deal, and who cares? But for me, that's a little bit annoying because I also sometimes like to change the length of my banjo strap because I want to try different, distance as far as how high the banjo is. So that's a little bit too much of a headache for me. So what I really like instead, which I've just recently discovered, is called a Chicago screw or something like that. There's actually a couple different names for it. It's got two pieces. One looks like this, one looks like this, and they go together so that they connect. Now, how does that actually help me with my banjo strap? Well, here is the strap. You will notice that at the end, there are two holes. So what you do is you take the strap and you just wrap it around one of those hooks instead. You can put this through so that it's sticking out a little bit. Screw it on, and you have this that stays. So in terms of how tough this is, well, I don't think this leather is going to, you know, break anytime soon, and I don't think this screw is going to break anytime soon. It's really, really secure. I can take it on and off in a couple minutes. That's just about all it takes to get it off of one banjo and onto another in just the way that I like it. And so it's super easy. Now, just in case that didn't make any sense, you can easily just thread the strap through all of these hooks. You find the one that you want it to be hooked on. You can put it around there. Then Chicago screw goes in there just like that, and then you're good to go. It's that easy. However, that does not solve my banjo strap problems necessarily, because again, that is my banjo strap. That is my one banjo strap. It's kind of a ridiculous situation. I take that strap off of one banjo, put it on another one, go play a different gig that requires a different banjo, whatever it is. This is not a good solution. I wouldn't recommend that either. I wouldn't recommend the strap that I have, and I wouldn't recommend owning one banjo strap if you have more than one banjo. So, do you have any banjo strap recommendations? Obviously, you know that I prefer a certain type of banjo strap, but do you have a preferred maker of straps, whether leather or otherwise, that you would suggest that I check out? Maybe I'll try some of those and let you know what I think about them. Anyway, feel free to leave comments, questions, suggestions for straps, anything like that in the comments below. That's going to do it for this one. I'll see you next time.